We are on live now.
Hello, good morning. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and our guest panelists and the organizing chairman. Welcome to this forum number 7, SME and Insurance. My name is Ivy from I-Max Financial, and I shall be your moderator for this session. Insurance. When people hear about insurance, what is the first thing that comes into the mind? So it's either life insurance like death, premature death, disability, disease insurance, or medical and health. But today we want to talk about general insurance. General insurance got 2 big categories. One is for individual risk, another one is for company risk. And from SME point of view, the common insurance that come into SME boss's mind is fire insurance, burglary insurance. What if my business burn down? What if I cannot do business? What will happen? And so many, all these uncertainties. There are so many types of general insurance in the market. So how do you know which one to buy first, or which one to buy later, or which one you need to buy at all? So in general, there are 3 big categories. Got property insurance, liability, and employees benefit if you have a staff. So today, we are very honored to have invited 3 special guests from the general insurance industry to come forward to discuss and share with us the topic for today. What are the common SME risks that SME owners can transfer out efficiently? Let me introduce to you Mr. Horst Habbig, the Chief Sales Officer of Allianz General Insurance Company, Malaysia Berhad. We have here Mr. Simon Chin, Assistant General Manager of MPI-Generali, and Mr. Eugene, Regional Manager from AXA Affin General Insurance. Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask our special guest to acknowledge and say hello to you. Can I invite Mr. Eugene to say some words with the audience? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ivy. Good morning to everyone. My name is Eugene. I'm from AXA General Insurance. I'm happy to be here. We should have a lot of fun. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Eugene. Can I invite Mr. Simon?
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm from MPI-Generali. I've been in the industry for 30 over years. So it is something that is good that we share back to the public or to the industry or to everyone out there. Thank you.
Thank you, Simon. Mr. Horst, good morning to you. Would you like to say some words to the audience?
Hello, guten Morgen, Joe-san, Kale Wenakam, Selamat Pagi. As you can see, I'm already Malaysian. I'm very long time here, and I'm very honored and happy to be part of your forum here today, and hope that we have something to say which is interesting for your viewers.
Thank you, Mr. Horst. If you have any questions that you would like to ask the panelists, you can type in your comment box. And towards the end of this session, we shall have a 10 minutes Q&A, and we will run through the questions to the panelists later. So now, without further ado, I would like to invite our first panelist, Mr. Horst, and I would like to ask you the first question on SME business insurance. Mr. Horst, can you share with us what type of insurance the SME businesses should prioritize now, especially during this trying period when cost is a factor for everyone and business is also uncertain? And why is it you say so? Mr. Horst, please.
Thank you. Yes, what is the most important insurance for an SME in the moment is, of course, a wide question. So I'm trying to be very precise and very clear. To me, the most important insurance for any shop, any SME, any company in the moment is something which helps you to continue your business. Because the lockdown actually for 2 months gave a big dip already in the turnover. But even after the lockdown, if you look into shopping centers, you have less customers. So if now anything additional comes to you as an SME or a shop that you have to close, probably you won't be able to take it anymore. So you would need an insurance which helps you to sustain another period of closure of your shop, if that happens. So, and with this, of course, all insurances which were developed the last 10 years are not really addressing the issue which we have today, which is pandemic, which is COVID, which is Corona. And here you have a very new risk, which is very real. If you just think about now, in every shop customer go in, you have to scan your personal particulars in the app. You have to take your temperature. You can imagine what happens if one of your customers was infected with COVID. The Ministry of Health will come 1 week, maybe later, to your shop and say, you had a customer last week who is now infected. You will have to close down your shop. You will have to disinfect your shop. You will have to test all your employees against COVID before you can open again. And this might need at least a week to do so, and it costs a lot of money. Just to give you an example, if you have a square feet of 10,000 for a shop, it will cost you about 15,000 ringgit to do a disinfection, which is good enough for the Ministry of Health to allow you to open again. So this particular part is a new risk which you need to be aware of. And for some shops, it might be too much. If you have to carve out another 15 to 20,000 ringgit, you might not be able to survive already. So this is something which you will find in the new Allianz. Now I have to make a little bit of advertisement for our product. New product, which is called a Smart Retail Shield, where we include this particular cover. We call it Inconvenience Relief Benefit, and it covers the shop if exactly that happens, what I just described. But more so, also, if your shop has to close down because of a water damage, because of a fire damage, you will get a daily allowance up to 2,000 ringgit for about 180 days, which hopefully will give you enough money and space to recover. So in my opinion, beside the usual fire, burglary, money, that for me is an important additional coverage which every SME, every shop in the moment will need. Can I do a little bit more advertisement? Because this particular product which we launched 2 months ago not only provides this particular cover if you have to close your shop, but it also gives you all the, we call it miscellaneous covers, which is burglary, liability, glass insurance for your storefront, money, for free for the first year of insurance. So you actually only have to pay the fire insurance, then the rest is free, plus you will get this cover for closing down your shop. So I think it's a good product in the time, and we only launched it about 1.5 months ago. That's why it's very much developed with the pandemic situation in mind. Yeah, this is actually what I wanted to say in regards to priority, in regards to what is the most important cover you need. And of course, if you want to have more information about this, if you want to know more, you can always contact I-Max, who are selling this product for us as well, and get some advice from them. Ivy, does this answer your question?
Thank you, Mr. Horst. Yeah, the question is very well answered. I heard about some like inconvenient relief benefit.
Yes.
All right. So if I hear Mr. Horst say correctly, even if because of COVID-19, the business cannot operate, so there'll be no business, no cash flow. So during this time, if the policy has this benefit, Allianz will pay to the SME business owner a daily allowance up to 2,000 ringgit a day, right? How much would roughly 2,000 ringgit a day the premium will cost to SME?
Okay, let me just be very specific so that you don't get it wrong. We pay if your shop has to close down because either your staff or your customer is infected and the Ministry of Health will close you down. We do not pay if there's another lockdown and everybody has to close. This one we don't pay. So it has to be specific to your shop or to your company. So number two, I have here a sample premium because the premium depends a little bit upon what occupation you have, whether you have general merchandise or whether you have plastic or whether you have a clothes shop or a restaurant. But averagely for 1,000 ringgit daily sum insured for about 180 days, you will pay 68 ringgit a year. So it's actually quite cheap.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Horst, for the great insight. I think to our SME owners here, many of them maybe it's the first time to hear that such a cash relief offered by an insurance company. On the same topic of COVID-19, we are seeing a lot of businesses are having difficulty to cope, and some may need to just have to go slow or close down, or some may need to stop hiring people, or the retrenchment come into picture. So in order just to survive. So I'm thinking if there is any insurance that can protect the SME community from the SME employers in the case that if this employee were to charge against the bosses, what can they do? And what is your view on this? Thank you, Mr. Horst.
Okay, that's sadly, in a way, a very short answer. We don't have any insurance for that. Because I guess in Malaysia, also the insurance industry as well as the law is not really that far that we have like a legal kind of insurance for an employer to fight off staff who claim against them for retrenchment. We don't have that. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Horst, for your valuable input. Noted on that, all right. And ladies and gentlemen, let's sit back and watch a short video introducing Allianz General. Video, please. Finish? You on me already? Okay, thank you. Next, I would like to bring on Mr. Simon from MPI-Generali. Hi, Mr. Simon. I have a question here, which I think most SMEs would be interested to know the answers as well. As a SME owner and director of the company, at least I am the owner as well, and I'm also the director of the company. How do I protect myself in case if there is a legal suit against me or my company? Mr. Simon, would you like to address this?
Thank you, Ivy. Good morning, everyone. And thank you, Horst, for his very good explanation on this product. Okay, on my side, I will be very much generous on liability classes. So on question, Ivy, there are actually a few types of liability insurance that might help you, or for that matter, I think a lot of SME actually didn't have that policy, especially number one, DNO, Director and Officer Liability Insurance. So this is one class that actually does not, you don't need to be a big company to qualify. A small partnership company, you can also start buying, right? And then the next one is professional indemnity, especially if you are professional or you are providing services where it's actually protecting your company's reputation, or in the event of unknown event that upon your services provided, you might be subject to lawsuit that you don't know about, or something that could have happened many years ago. You can actually retro-date it, all right? And product liability. Product liability is something that you could have, you are selling now, you could have manufactured it, or you could have imported and rebranded it into your name, and then you sell it in the market, and something happened to your customer, your client. So this is something very unknown, especially for small business, right? Of course, the last item is public liability, which is very, very common. A lot of insurance product even throw in the public liability. But of course, product liability, the public liability will give you a certain limitation where it don't cover your professional work. It only cover about pure negligence or accidents, okay? Let me jump straight into the D&O. On the D&O side, you actually, if you purchase a D&O, the company will first underwrite you and will ensure that your company are in a good standing before the product is sold to you. It's not mean that anyone can come in and say, I want a D&O and you get a D&O. No. So this, if you have a D&O, it actually puts your company in a level that even in this crisis now, you are looking forward to bring in funds or new partner into your company. If you have a D&O, actually a new partner will come in and look at you and say that, okay, you have a D&O. If anything wrong with your financial or report or things that are misleading, so at least the new investor got a way out of at least suing you or suing the company, I mean, per se, right? So this is one thing that you elevate yourself to a standing that you can attract investors to come in, especially in this time, you may need to do some expansion. Bank is very difficult in giving out loans. So you may want to call for private investment or even sell off some share to small shareholders, right? So when you come to PI, all right, very common out there, some occupation, like if you are a lawyer, you are architect, it's compulsory that you need this professional indemnity. But you are not aware of actually professional indemnity can be sold to any professional company who provided services, even to people who are doing ID design, right? Or even there are companies who do security guarding service, right? Or even to companies who do audit, all right? We even, I think recently, we even have a case of a company who comes to Malaysia to audit our LRT lines to make sure that the IT and the train are working well. So that company actually requires a PI. They just came here, they don't have a PI, right? So these are some of the examples. So when you come to product, okay, the product is if you are a company, you are manufacturing something or you intend to bring in something that you want to rebrand into your local brand or your own company's name. So this is very crucial that a product being sold, you give customer an assurance that you are protected. The customer is protected because you have a product liability, right? These are all these small little things that are very crucial for you to move forward, or in fact, all this professional class of liability insurance actually elevate your company standing, right? Don't look at it as a cost investment, because in insurance, you need to invest, right? The protection will come in, and loss is something that is very unpredictable. You don't know when it will happen. For a PI, sometimes it may happen 2 years back, but what happened now if you are, whether you got a policy or not. So actually PI provide you a retro rate, right? Because it's based on claims made basis. So if you need further information about all this professional class insurance, actually I-Max Financial has got a well-trained group of advisor who can actually advise you on this, right? On the other, especially on the D&O part, so there are actually a lot of extension within the director and officer cover, where they even give you protection to cover things, example like, sexual harassment as alleged by your employee. These are very common now that's going on. And there are further extension that you can actually seek for the different details of the cover, right? Otherwise, there are simple D&O or complicated D&O. Okay, anything else, Ivy?
Thank you, Mr. Simon. There are so many types of liability insurance. So for the SME, just now the question that we are concerned is, what if as a SME owner, as also as a director, if you are being sued? So this is just one part of the insurance, which is D&O, like what Simon said. So I also didn't know got sexual harassment insurance for that. So many. I just would like to ask, roughly this kind of policy for D&O policy, and also just now you did mention about professional indemnity. If a company already got a D&O, do you need to buy a professional indemnity? And if yes, what kind of premium that the SME owners got to look at?
Okay, good question, Ivy. Actually, for any PI policy or D&O policy, out in the market, the range is starting from around 1,000 ringgit. Actually, it's already very cheap. Many years ago, it used to cost at least 10,000 ringgit just to get the policy. And if you're a small company, nobody wants to sell to you. As at today's market, I think our product are getting more and more matured. And we also understand the setup of company which are more transparent now, rather than in the past, they got a lot of hidden books and all that. So therefore, the PI or the D&O policy actually become cheaper. And also because of the qualification of the people who runs the company and the financial report. So you can even start from a small limit with 1,000, and then as you go along, as you expand the business, if you can afford it, you can actually increase the limit. Yeah, right? You can increase the limit to 1 million and so, and you just keep going on. Or very much depends on, this is like an umbrella. You bring it out, before it rains, you just get it ready. Right? You will never know something might happen. Or even like if you need to expand your business, sometime when you discuss and you need to merge your company with someone else, if you had a D&O, it's much more easier for you to start negotiating and start talking, right? Because people will look at you as you are a company with good standing, you have a financial report that even insurance company accepted your risk, right? Obviously, any of these PI application or D&O application, a form is required to be completed. You have to declare truthfully all the questions being asked. And obviously, it has to come along with an audited financial report. So that's where they judge your company's background and they will do some underwriting work, all right, to check you up before they even selling it to you. You want to ask about access?
Thank you, Mr. Simon. So from what I can take away from Mr. Simon's session is, do not use insurance policy, especially liability insurance, just as a form of paying your losses, but you can use it also as a way of marketing too, because it actually alleviates your credential in the marketplace. And second thing is, if you are looking for fundraising or new shareholders to join your company, maybe you can also consider your company to look into some kind of liability insurance, which is relevant to your business nature. All right, thank you, Mr. Simon. And now I would like to ask the SME owners to sit back and enjoy a video from MPI-Generali. Video for MPI, please.
Generali has stood the test of time. On a foundation of Italian heritage, we have grown into a leading international insurer. Generations of experience allow us to look at the big picture and see what matters. We understand global, but more importantly, we understand local. We know that every market, every country has its own unique flavor. In Asia, we are forming the right partnerships and joint ventures to bring our experience and expertise to this rapidly expanding market. With deep understanding of the insurance business comes the confidence to be flexible. We adapt quickly to new markets. We understand the needs of our customers, from employees and individuals to SMEs and large corporates, so we can tailor intelligent solutions that suit your needs. We provide forward-thinking support and infrastructure. Our digital channels connect our agents and distribution partners. We have a comprehensive program responding to feedback at every point of contact. Because we value our customers' experience and their customers' experience too. At Generali, we pay attention to the details. We protect the life of the people you love, so you can focus on what really matters. Generali, simpler, smarter, faster.
Thank you. Okay, we have come to our final panelists for today's forum. Let me welcome Mr. Eugene from AXA General Insurance. Mr. Eugene, the current COVID-19 pandemic has increased overall Malaysians' awareness on medical coverage. More and more people have started to review to see what they have in their medical card. What is your opinion on how insurance company can encourage more SME to provide medical coverage to their employees?
Good morning, Ivy. Thank you very much for the question. Yes, I mean, in the current situation of the COVID-19, apparently it's true that Malaysians have increased the awareness level with regards to medical coverage. And we do have an issue because medical cost is one of the higher costs. Medical costs at private healthcare currently is increasing at average about 12-15% per annum. And a few factors that is driving the increase of costs could be the advancement of medical technology, currency depreciation, consumers' behavior, lack of price transparency from medical provider, regulatory changes, and also a higher prevalence of non-communicable diseases. So in view of this increase of cost, in our opinion, SME should provide a medical coverage to their employees by two reasons. One is to attract good talents, and also second, to retain good talents. So what can SME entity do? Company who are new in providing medical coverage, we will propose that they go slightly more leaner in the way that buying a basic group medical coverage with lower benefit, with a lower room and board, probably in region about 100 ringgit to 130 ringgit, and also a lower annual limit, probably starting at 20,000 to 30,000 for a start. In addition, they can encourage their staff to also buy a deductible plan, which is also cheaper for the customer to purchase. So there are various ways, and we do believe that for an SM entity, they should encourage by having a medical coverage for the employee, like I mentioned, for two reasons: to retain talent and also to attract talent. Back to you, Ivy. Thank you very much, Ivy.
Thank you. So the medical costs keep going up in order to attract, because most SME, one of the common concern is the business to SME owner, maybe the business is my number one priority. So if let's say I need to arrange medical for my employees, then it'll be a new cost involved. So just now you did mention that because of medical costs also keep going up, right? But is there a way that the SME owners can think of how to start the program in a very cost-effective manner, something like that, which is not burning their pocket?
Thank you very much, Ivy, for the question. We have acknowledged that medical insurance do provide high importance to entity for SME entity, and we also cannot deny that the medical cost is high. So for aspiring SME entity who wants to go into this, who want to provide benefit for the employee by retaining talents and also to attract the new talent, we will propose that how can they reduce the cost of insurance to contain the medical cost. One of each is that we propose that their staff to admit themselves to the second tier hospital, which is a medium cost hospital, and try to any high cost of this whenever possible. That's one way. Second, we should also opt for GHS plan or medical plan with reimbursement basis rather than a cashless basis. This somehow or rather do help in reducing the overall cost. And of course, lastly, we also encourage the members or the employee of the company to also check with the hospital first on the estimated surgery cost before any admission. So all these three things would assist in cost containment expenses, but yet again, the cost of insurance will still be there. Okay, of course, with the help of like partners like I-Max, you can also assist your customer in looking into their needs and to also tailor-make something that's suitable for them. Back to you, Ivy. Thank you.
Thank you, Eugene. Thank you, Mr. Eugene, for your answer. I think for SME, if you would like to start at looking at providing insurance for your workforce, you can start from the tailor-make plan, because most companies have tailor-make plan, and some can start as low as 3 members of the company, and some what do you call it, can offer very, very affordable premium, such as maybe just about 400 ringgit a person. So anyway, all these can be tailor-made. Yep. Thank you to our finalists. I would like to play a video on AXA Affin General right now.
As an SME owner, there are many things I need to take control of. And some days, things are just out of my hands. But I stay in control with AXA Business Advantage Plus Enhanced. With 20% cash advance payment in 5 working days, I can get back to business faster. AXA also provides trade-specific benefits for F&B outlets, learning centers, and budget hotels. With AXA, I can take control of my business because what really matters is having my business in my hands.
Okay, thank you. So now now is the Q&A time. Let me go through some questions that we posted. Yeah. There is this question. I would like to ask this question to Mr. Horst from Allianz. Will insurance company provide cover for pandemic event in the future, either as a product by itself or as a rider or a by-product? Because currently the COVID-19, there is no insurance cover COVID-19, right? But in the near future, would any general insurance players consider to provide cover for this pandemic event? Would you like to address?
Probably not. Probably not. The pandemic cover was, if at all, normally attached to a consequential loss policy, which is a business interruption policy worldwide. Most of insurance companies are stopping this cover because the risk is just too high. Because of pandemic, if everybody closes, the insurance company will have to pay a lot of money. So they will be all very, very careful. So you will see little covers like what we did with the disinfection cover, but a big cover for lockdown, for example, I doubt it that general insurance companies will offer this in the near future. Maybe my colleagues have different opinion, but I think that's the situation in the moment.
Thank you, Mr. Horst. What is your view, Mr. Simon?
In Malaysia, we don't have the capability to carry the capacity in case there's a pandemic cover. But actually, globally, this pandemic insurance actually covers a lot towards the travel insurance part, where they got cancellation and all that. So even in this part of the market, what we heard of or what I read from the news, many of these who are in this travel insurance market, they are also closing down, or because they are just paying too many claims. They already exceeded whatever they have capable of paying. So at this moment, until and unless a vaccine is out there, right? They may cover you COVID-19 upon a vaccine being invented someday or whatever. But a new pandemic out of a different virus may be excluded. So it's always talking about, you may get this now or tomorrow, but you won't get another disease cover of a new disease, because they always goes back to, is a vaccine invented? Is the vaccine effective? So I hope you accept the answer.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Simon. Thank you, Mr. Horst, for your answer. We have more questions coming in from the Facebook line. There is this one question I would like to ask Eugene. Say that buy insurance is very easy. When come to claim, very difficult. So how do you address this from the perspective of a insurance company?
Okay, thank you very much, Ivy, for that question. So I believe I would say that the question is rather general. Okay, buying insurance is easy, but making claims is difficult. So I'm assuming a few things here. I'm assuming that probably the customer do actually face some difficulty upon making an insurance claim. So there are going to be situations where the client or the SME owner or the insured faces something not expected in terms of claims when the claims being paid out. So there is always a reason why a claim is either not paid or not paid to the fullest. Then we need to look into how the insurance is purchased. So I would say that it's probably a bit unfair to say that whenever a customer buy an insurance is easy, but when they want to make a claim it's difficult. So it goes back again to all the on how the customer purchase the insurance. Of course, we have professional intermediaries like I-Max. So the first thing first, when a customer wants to buy an insurance, whether it's a SME insurance, a liability insurance, even a medical insurance, we need to understand what is it that they want and what is it that they want to cover. So subject that upon incepting the policy, everything is looked into properly. Coverage is provided adequately. I'm very sure at the point when the claim would happen, it will be a very, very much smoother, irrespective whether they purchase it from company A, B, or C. The similar principle works. So what I can say is that probably the customer have experienced situation which is not so pleasant in the claim situation, I would encourage them to come back again and see their insurer and to discuss where it went wrong and how that can be remedied so that it doesn't happen again. If it's insured properly from the beginning, I'm very, very sure everything will go smooth. Go back, passing back again to you, Ivy. Thank you.
Thank you. I think it's all go back to the inception time. The intermediary must spell out what can cover, what cannot cover, and everything gets all the facts right across the board. So everybody is well aware. Okay, thank you. Got another question coming in. This question is on these days, insurance companies are already running online. Insurance company offer online direct to the end consumer, okay, with great deals and offers to the market. Is it this online insurance is a better option to business owner than an offline insurance channel like the intermediary? Mr. Horst, would you like to take this question?
Happily, thank you. And a very short answer, I would not recommend any shop owner to buy online, simply because what Eugene also just said, online you can just buy a very general package, but not tailored to actually your needs in your shop. You cannot tell me that a restaurant needs the same cover than a clothing shop. So, and online you cannot really have any proper advice, which only an intermediary like I-Max can give you. So my suggestion or my advice to the person who asked this question, don't buy online. Buy online only if you know the product by yourself good enough, like a travel insurance, for example. That makes maybe sense. But for insurance for your shop, it's too important, and there are too many things you don't know as a non-insurance person, where advice is very important. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Horst. Eugene, what is your view on this?
Yeah, I would thank you very much, Ivy. I would like to echo what Mr. Horst mentioned. When everything is going digital and online, there's a lot of praise going to that. So before we go into online, we need to understand who are we selling things to and what we're selling. So online platform, it's making it easy for business owner to find information, but insurance customer journey, especially for SME owner, it's not as simple as it seems, like what I mentioned earlier and also what Mr. Ross mentioned. It is a very delicate situation where we need to understand the information from the customer itself, what is it that they need and so forth. So in fact, in AXA itself, product information can be obtained easily via our website, but we have more than 5,000 partners like I-Max themselves who are able to provide and assist an SME entity to look for the correct coverage they want. So just reach out to our business partners. so that our business can understand what is it exactly do you want, and they will then give you a proposal or a suggestion what is adequate for your business. So that's how it's supposed to be. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Eugene. We got one more question here. If my company has several branches in different locations, can I cover all the locations under one policy? I think this question maybe relates to fire policy. Mr. Simon, would you like to take this?
When you talk about any insurance policy, if you want to put everything into one policy, like different location and all that, it's ever possible. It's ever possible because a policy, if you drive a policy as a fire, then all your location must be on the same class fire. If you buy a policy on burglary, then all your location is under one burglary policy, right? So if you've got a public liability policy, you can cover any branches within Malaysia into one public liability policy. So that is very, very doable, very common actually for corporate or for those with retail branches, right? But you cannot combine multiple classes of insurance into one. It will be a bit difficult unless they come up with package product.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Simon. I think we shall do one more question. We still have time. If my shop already covered insurance by the landlord, do I still need to buy another insurance? And this shop is rented from this question.
You want me to answer? Okay, very simple. Normally, the landlord will insure the landlord's property and not your own. But to be sure, what I would do is I would ask your landlord for a copy of the insurance cover, which he provides for you, pass it to I-Max, ask him to have a look at it and see whether everything is covered you need. That would be my advice. Thank you.
I got one question here for liability insurance. One participant asked, just now you mentioned about the D&O insurance and some professional indemnity insurance. Is there any exclusions or excess that the client can negotiate with the insurance company before placing the product with the insurance company? Mr. Simon, would you like to take this question?
Thanks, Abby. Okay, when you come to this point, all PI policy or D&O policy actually come with a deductible. But there are some peril, we call it peril, or we call some covered risk. They don't attract deductible. So in generally, they are, unless you go in detail into a policy. Otherwise, it's very general. In very general term, yes, most product risk an accident, bodily injury, then deductible won't apply. So it depends on different circumstances, right? So sometimes the deductible is applied to actually helps reduce the premium. You know, like some people may ask for lowering of the premium. So the deductible actually comes into play. You take a higher first loss, we call it always the first loss. The deductible is, I assume the first loss and I want a lower premium, right? Or you said, I don't want a first loss, I want a very small limit, I don't mind paying more. So it sometimes come into picture between deductible and premium, right? So for people to buy a D&O, obviously you need an application form, right? And it's good that you go through a financial advisor or an experienced agent who actually give you the proper advice and what kind of cover can be provided. So that's my advice.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Simon. I think there's so many questions. We have already covered most of it. And I would like to say a very big thank you to the organizer, to our special guest panelists for today, for your time and for your wisdom sharing with all of us, to all the SME participants. We hope you have gained a valuable insight for your businesses and also for the risk. So no one insurance is needed or no one insurance is not needed, not like that. It's always go back to the type of business you are doing, what kind of risk you think this business will attract. So once you sit down and understand the the potential risks and the potential difficulties that you're going to face, I think risk management can easily be transferred out, because we as one person, it's very difficult for us to shoulder all the risks by ourselves. That's why there is the existence of insurance company. They are here together with us. They are here to help, even though in trying time, in difficult time. So don't worry about the premium, because it is just part of running the business. All right, and I hope before we end, I just would like to borrow one final minute of everybody's time to let me introduce to you I-Max Financial. And after the video, feel free to visit our e-booth at the marketplace. And once again, thank you, and stay safe, everybody. Thank you. Thank you to all the panelists. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Video, please. Thank you.